Upset alerts are so real this week. They're all over the place. This week, this is one of those weekends of college football. You don't want to have other plans. Don't go to fall weddings. Don't plan fall weddings. Fall weddings are an abomination to the college football society. They are insulting to college football fans, frankly. So let me start with Alabama and Missouri. I love this game. I love this game for several reasons. Number one, we are still fully, I think we know Alabama is back-ish. They're not all the way back. They're not into highest of vibes territories I talk about with my assessment of what a fan base's mood should be. They're definitely enduring good vibes. You win at Georgia, you beat Vandy at home, you look good doing it. Yeah, the vibes are good. The vibes can go up a solid notch if Alabama beats Missouri. I like Missouri a lot. I have them in my top 25. I don't just have them there, as most people do. I have them inside my top 10 coming into this game. Alabama, according to our friends at FanDuel, is a 3.5-point favorite. Number one thing I'm watching in this game, can Alabama defend the run? We know Bo Prabula can run the football. Missouri's offense this year has been electric on the ground, well over 200 per game. And Alabama, over the last couple, has given up 180 yards rushing per contest against Georgia and Vanderbilt. Missouri is that sort of offense. If you don't know about Amari Hardy, you need to learn. This is one of the most explosive backs in all of college football. And Bama has been susceptible over the last couple of seasons, and it's strange to see, but this is not Nick Saban. This is Kalen DeBoer. They have not defended the run very well, particularly in some big spots. And if you can't do that on the road, Missouri can open things up. This is a Missouri team that passes the eye test. So far, I'll talk about their schedule angle in a moment. But one of the reasons you watch them and you come away impressed from Missouri is you go, boy, they look fast. They look. Bo Prabula can move. Who's the running back he's giving the ball to? This will be the first time a lot of you have watched Missouri this year. It won't be for me. I watched them against South Carolina. I watched them against Kansas, a game they trailed 21-6 and came back and, just showed how cursed I am with my best bets every week because they covered 6.5 with a late touchdown run. How? With an explosive run. So that's the biggest key for Alabama in this spot. Defensively, they've got to be able to stop the run. Make Bo Prabula, this is a sneaky good quarterback matchup as well, but make him against this Alabama defense, make him beat you consistently throughout the game. If Amari Hardy gets going, I think Missouri will go for 300 yards on the ground if you let them. They're not going to be stubborn in their desire to throw the football. This is not Mike Leach or Lincoln Riley, RIP, Mike Leach forever and always. This is not one of those offenses that can, look back on a game and go, yeah, we should have run the ball more. Nope, they'll just keep giving it to them. It's a mark of a good coaching staff. Not always as common as you think, but I don't think they're going to outthink the room. But Bo Prabula against Ty Simpson, really fun quarterback matchup in this game. Prabula this year has Penn State fans wishing that he'd stayed in Happy Valley and that they'd done to Drew Aller what Texas did to Quinn Ewers. Now, it's not working out very well for Texas right now, but Prabula looks darn good. This is an undefeated Tigers team that is absolutely a threat to go to the college football playoff, and Prabula is a big reason why. He's completing almost 76% of his passes this year, going for 240 yards a game, 9 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. Those are really good numbers. You contrast that with one of the betting favorites to win the Heisman inside the top 3, according to our friends at FanDuel, Ty Simpson, who threw his first interception last week that was basically a punt. It was a 4th and 1, and it does kind of boggle the mind that Alabama didn't run the ball on 4th and 1. I know you're trying to catch teams off guard, and they were running the ball just fine. But they didn't. They took a shot. You got to throw the football. Vanderbilt intercepts it. Okay. All right. That's the only interception that Ty Simpson has this year. 13 touchdowns against 1 pick. He's going for almost 300 yards a game, and we know that Alabama has played a very good schedule this year. Remember, they had 2 Power 4 non-conference opponents. They played Wisconsin. That was kind of a get-right moment. And they played Florida State, a game that continues to look more and more like a mystery outcome, like Penn State and UCLA, but to a lesser extent, because Florida State, obviously, much better than UCLA. So the quarterback matchup in this game is really fun. Alabama has to stop the run. Crimson Tide favored by 3.5. This, to me, feels more like a pick 'em. Feels more like a toss-up. And it's another game that I have to think of. I'm not making my pick right now. I got to think this one through. My inclination to take Missouri to win the game outright is really high. That's all I will say. Right now, as I'm recording this show late on Tuesday night, I have got a huge sense of, I kind of think Missouri goes and gets this one done. Bama was at home. They found a way. Georgia gave them a couple breaks a couple weeks ago. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens when the Friday show rolls around. But I love this game. And this is an opportunity for Missouri to prove that they're real. No one thinks they're legitimate because the teams they've beaten that were good when they played them were not teams that anyone had maybe as national title contenders. Maybe South Carolina, dark horse, but they've fallen off and their schedule is getting difficult going forward. So their record's not going to be very good by the end of the year compared to what they maybe were expecting to do before the season. But South Carolina, I still think, is a solid team. I just don't think they're a great team. But those two wins right now are not doing a lot for Missouri's resume. It's why they're not ranked as high as I have them in my top 10. Now, I am primarily looking at resume, but South Carolina, preseason top 12 team. And I think deservedly so, and Missouri was just a better football team than them. So I like Missouri. I like Missouri a lot, but it's hard to ignore what Alabama's done. I always thought Kalen DeBoer would do very well with the Crimson Tide. Maybe he's finally got it figured out. But for Missouri, this is an opportunity to legitimize yourself internally and externally for your college football playoff hopes. You could pick up a top 10 win. You'd finally be ranked inside the top 10 in the AP poll, and whenever the college football playoff rankings first come out, really fun game. Let me go to another game that's got upset alert written all over it, and one that I'll have a hard time ignoring. I'm going to talk about Utah and Arizona State this week in the Big 12. Winner of that game will crack my top 25. They're both unranked. So is BYU. Not because I don't think BYU is a good team. BYU's resume is very unimpressive at the moment. Their best win is probably at Colorado in a game they struggled, or Stanford, or East Carolina, or Portland State. You see where I'm going with this? BYU so far, I'm kind of in a, let's wait. Because I did pick them to start hot, and now they get into the actual meat of their schedule. Now, this game didn't look like that against Arizona this week. I'll just warn you, BYU fans, be very careful. Be very careful down in the desert. I have watched games down in Tucson for a very long time. I know this is still relatively new to some of you out there. I have watched games be played down there for a very long time. Wild, crazy things can happen. Arizona did not play as well as they hoped last week on the road against Iowa State. They got exposed a little bit. Now they come back home, dare I say, in wounded animal mode or wounded wildcat mode. And BYU, who's ranked, who's undefeated, against an Arizona team that is neither of those things, BYU's just a 1.5 point favorite. Yeah, that raises alarm bells in my head, makes me go, Vegas knows what I know, which is Arizona's okay. I don't think Arizona's great. We saw that last week against Iowa State. But Arizona at least is okay. Can BYU lose to an okay football team on the road? I 100% believe they can. They almost lost to a pretty bad football team on the road in Colorado. So if the Wildcat fans show up as they should for what would be the biggest win of the Brent Brennan era in year 2, it's going well this season so far. This should be one of those flagship wins that Coach Brennan can look at and go pitch to his donors and the fans, community, and say, hey, we got something here. We're going to succeed. It was bad last year, but it's getting better. It has looked better. It will continue to be better if they continue playing the way that they are capable. Oklahoma State, if they were to pull an upset, they're not capable going. Arizona's capable. Their defense is better than you think. No, Fafita can still play quarterback. Just keep an eye. And BYU, be very, very careful. I have another team that should be careful.